me and the Lord, we got an understanding.
We're on a mission from God.
Now this could only happen to a guy like me. It only happened in a town like this. So may I say to each of you most gratefully, as I throw each one of you a kiss.
So, is this up?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, well that's Carl, right?
Yeah.
What I love about this picture, and it doesn't probably look as good as what you showed me when we were camping, because this is a photo of the phone, right?
Yeah, I think it was also on Messenger or Facebook, and Facebook tends to want to distort pictures and make them not as good quality as they were.
But in any event, it still looks really, really great. But it did look much better. But to me, what is so outstanding in this is you can see the emotion and the wisdom it's just
you can see his jawline, his mouth, his nose, the bridge of his nose, his eyes, the bridge of his eyes, everything. You can see his whole face there.
Yeah, but what I love about it the most is you can see his personality and his wisdom and it's just it just stands out. It's amazing. You have a story with this picture or
That was just where I go down to gift his young ones. I like to give them toys and little trinkets and marbles and stuff, and sometimes some good old fashioned M&Ms. And he was just right there in front of me, like that. I just go right below that spot where that face is, and there's a little they have a little, some structures and stuff in there, and
yeah,
that was just right where I go to gift them. I just knew he was literally right in front of me, and this picture, he was probably about 15 feet in front of me, something like that, 10, 15 feet in front of me.
You can see my mouse, right?
Yeah.
So this is just for people in case somebody can't see it. I'm seeing the eyes here, brow, nose, mouth down in here. This might be some kind of leaf or something, but anyway, its mouth is somewhere down in here. But you can just see the expression in this area, just the wisdom, the eyes. It's just amazing. Wow.
It really is amazing, man. I felt so much love through that picture too. Like I said, I don't take too many pictures when I go down to the spots, right? And if I do, I tell them, I'm I'm taking some pictures, you guys. If you want to come in for the family photo, go ahead. But I don't try to just go and sneak down there and just trying to keep snapping pictures of them where I think they're gonna be, and I got you,
like the Roadrunner.
Yeah, I just here and there.
The Acme kid.
Yeah. So I try to show them the most utmost respect possible, right? And feel like I'm not just I know that I've heard from some of them that they feel when you take a picture of them, it's like you're taking a part of their soul away.
Yeah.
Part of them.
So anyway, I just wanted to show this picture because, like I said, when you showed it to me, I thought I've never seen expression in a face like I've seen in this one for a Sasquatch. It's just it's wow. Like I said, you can just see wisdom. Anything more you want to say on that one?
I love you, Carl. What I gotta say about that? That's my buddy, man. It's my best friend since I was a little guy, man.
Yeah, man.
And he comes to my home every day, and his kids, his families, they all watch over us, and I love that guy.
Oh,
That's
I
my
can feel. I can feel. I think I can feel him.
yeah. So that's him, man.
I can feel something.
Yeah.
Some
It's
kind
the
of
love.
energy. It's not my guy. Oh, there's a couple crazy. We were up at the structure here up the hill. This is anyway. Yeah,
I like that structure. That was cool.
yeah. But I wanted to show something, and actually, it's kind of cool. Yeah, I didn't get a really great picture of that structure, but I've had them before. Oh, but this was cool. Remember the little baby one?
Yeah, at the back of it.
Right up here is a huge structure up in this, in behind it. But
I have a few pictures of it too.
yeah, oh yeah, and it's been there for a while.
Yeah.
But we saw this little baby guy in behind it, like, and the guy was obviously imitating the father or the big brother or the.
Yeah, just on the other side of that ribbon there, there's a huge structure right beside it. So they're like, it's like the baby was trying to make a structure and copying the parents.
Yeah, and you know what else struck me is kind of funny, because remember when Laurel came and spent a few hours with us that day, she was talking about ribbons.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. Look, there's a ribbon there. These things are
left. We
quite often not a coincidence. So
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So anyway, like I said, just
I have a piece of ribbon like that at my house. That's kind of odd. I was wondering, like kind of a purple. That purple. I'm impressed. Why do I have one at my house?
When today?
No, I've had one in the front on my little gifting tree for a long time.
Oh, well, there you go.
Some blue ribbon too.
Well, I mean, I never really thought about it, because I just thought, well, they're just marking trees that are dangerous to cut down or whatever. But then Laurel was talking about it a little bit to us, right, Mark, and pointing it out. And yes, I was sort of thinking, yeah, some of this doesn't make any sense at all. Like I was seeing them like tied to little pieces of ferns that were partially snapped and stuff. And
I've heard too from Carl and his families. Like I've questioned them in the past, not recently, but like about ribbons being left around their structure sometimes, and they say sometimes that's the secret people coming to mark their areas. So I don't know if that's like 100% or not, but I know there's like people that track them and follow them, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but I know that I've seen this. I've gone into some structures and areas. I mean, in some remote areas where people don't really go around, and it's similar. I'll see some structures and I look off right beside it, and there's a big ribbon tied off right there. Right?
Oh, really?
I don't know. Yeah, so like that could be a very high possibility, right? You should just trust and believe them. So I'm thinking that could be a possibility. I don't know. Which would make logical sense to like mark an area where you think they are, right?
Yeah. Oh, there we are again.
Yeah, I think I was taking a picture of the structure there actually.
Between let's see, between the two of us, we're 12'10".
yeah. I'm like 6'5.5" or 6'6" or something like that. I'm pretty tall. You're like 6'4".
Yeah. We're 12'10".
Holy crap, you're tall.
Well, for an old dude, I guess I am.
Yeah, you're tall. It's always
got a nice message from Coastal Chick. Coastal Chick says, "Wow, Carl's face hit me right in the heart. Emotion on his beautiful face."
Yeah,
absolutely. That's what I saw.
Very happy to have me come visit. They love it when I come visit them too in those spots and just sing and dance. I like to just play my music and just have fun, kind of just let loose. There ain't no one around. I'm on the riverbank and there's no one there. I just love doing that for them, and they just love it, right? So they get a little excited.
Yeah. Remember this when we came down the hill? They left this little cliff here and then took the rock out. That's obvious Sasquatch stuff. And that was right around where we were feeling that. That's when we came back from investigating that kid that we'll talk about in a while.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. But yeah, look at the cliff here, and you notice it goes under, over.
Yeah.
There's a sign I recognize, and then the rock out of here taken out. It's one of the structures we saw. Nothing too special, but
yeah, the energy was very strong there. I tell you, when I was there with you, it really was, man. I could feel so much joy and laughter, like giggles, like lots of giggles, especially when like all four of us were walking around.
Mm-hmm.
They were very excited. It was a very magical place. Golden Ears, man. That's a magical place, man. I love there. I've never been there. That's my first time there, Brian. I've never been there before.
Yeah.
Amazing place.
Mary Jean Sutton says, in a large way to me, that picture of Carl resembles our guest speaker. What specifically it is the feeling I get when I look at it. So, people are already feeling feelings from Carl.
Yeah, he's listening.
Well, that's funny. Does that mean that he looks like, facial features looks like Mark?
Pardon me?
Is that what Mary would say that again? What Mary Jane said?
Mary Jane says, in a large way to me, that picture of Carl resembles our guest speaker. What specifically it is the feeling I get when I look at it. So I don't know what that means, but it's it's all.
No, but that's interesting because I've been told the same thing about myself and RE or whatever. So that's what I was thinking about. Parts of ourself or whatever. Mark is why I'm mentioning that, because I've had pictures where I've had the same kind of thing where it energetically and kind of even look like me too. So
yeah,
there's something to that. So
yeah, there wasn't that long ago where my brother, he was coming home from work really early in the morning. I was like 3 or 4 in the morning. He was gone all night, and he came walking up the street to our house. And I told you this, Brian. He saw probably like 50, 100, I don't know, all kinds of orbs all around our house. It's pitch black outside. Comes up the driveway, goes around to the back of the house to get in, and he sees this 15, 16-foot figure up along the tree, like right beside our house here. And his arms were over our roof, like he was like hugging our roof. And like as Chris focused on him, he just like leaned into the house and just like kind of dissipated. He just disappeared, and everything just shut off. Like he watched the orbs even going around the house, walking up the street towards our house. We're in the middle of the farmland. There's no neighbors, so you got a good view of watching these orbs as you're walking all the way up the street to the house. Right? There's a lot of stuff that happens around here on a regular basis around our homes.
Yeah,
we even had a young one chase his brother back to our house. He was going to go on his skateboard just down the road to our house, down to the river, just to hang out, whatever. It was just getting dark, and then he ended up calling Chris. He's like, "Whoa, something just dropped on all four and chased me back to the house." This has happened like just over a month ago, right? It's not that long ago. So, it was a young one just playing with him. I think he just kind of went in with the wrong intent, or I'm not too sure exactly, but he was freaked out, man. He was like, something just was standing along the dike. It dropped down to all four and ran at me full tilt. I jumped on my skateboard and just went bolting back to the house, and it made sure I went all the way back to the house.
You know what that speaks to me of? That speaks to me of testing one's mettle. If he had been in a position where he had stood his ground kind of and laughed and said that's a good one, then a relationship might have
exactly. You might have ended up having a good time with him. Who knows, right? I have a good feeling towards that too.
So that's what I think.
Yeah. So it's like this is like just normal everyday kind of thing around here, right? This is just the way it is. Just stuff happens all the time around here. You get used to it, right? But you have to take advantage of it, and you have to learn.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to learn as much as I can from them. Not like to take advantage of it or like get annoying or be pushy. Obviously do it in their time and my time, but I try my best to just learn as much as I can and figure out who we really are and what's really going on here and like what we're really capable of. And when you start really getting a hold of that heart, that real true heart, that divine feeling, that pure love, and that's where everyone really needs to get.
You said that was it your brother or the guy moved out shortly after that, right? To South.
Yeah, they're not here now. He's gone, man. He's not. There's multiple times he tried going into he'd always use the back door. We used the side door, right? We never really used the back door. Like my girl and I and our family, we just had the whole top floor of the house, and they were out the bottom stairs in the basement, and they had a room down there, right? But multiple times he would go into the back of the house. And he always had just a chain. He was easy for him to get in. He didn't have to do whatever. He never locked, deadbolt the lock when he was outside. And multiple times he was going in to get back inside, and something had locked the door on him. So like, it wasn't me and my girl. There's no one else here that's going to lock the door on him. Yeah, he kept going. It happened to him like 3 times that night. And every time it happened, I could hear like Carl's young one chuckling. It's like every time he's going to go back inside, he's like messaging us, "Did you guys lock the door?" I'm like, "No, bro, we don't even use that back door. Like, we didn't lock it. We're playing with you right now, literally." And like, it's getting to the point where I don't know, man. I know he was getting used to it and whatever. I know he had to move because of work and stuff, but I know at the same time, like even his brother, like the two of them when they were here, there was a little bit of some odd stuff going on. Like, we have our tarps on the patio to stop from the wind coming up the valley, so we can enjoy the sitting on the patio without getting rained on and the wind always blowing on us. And he could see their face push through the tarp along the patio right behind me, and he got so creeped, kind of. He just like he had to roll out. He's like, "I can't. This is." They're like, he looked over in the field right behind me, and he could see like a tall, they've been saying it every time. It looks like he's like 15 feet tall. I'm like, well, that's pretty much Carl. I'm pretty sure that's Carl. But like, it's just like every day, right? Every other day, it was like something going on, and they like staying up all night, and they were just constantly getting like,
Yeah.
lots of interactions.
So
But yeah, they moved out.
let's we're gonna get into like when you came up and visited. Oh, there's a nice welcome X that they friendship welcome X they put on the path when you're up here. But we'll get into the when you came up here because there's a lot of neat stuff that happened that day. But let's get into this story first with a heart.
Yeah, that was left after I gifted them last spring with the same guy who actually just moved out recently, Chris. We went down there, and I went to take him down there for one of the first times and show him like. To me, it's like different. It's like when I'm going down there, I'm not just going down to the river or down to the trail there. It's like I'm going into a whole other world. I'm leaving this world that we're all in here. I'm going into a whole other world. It's different. It's magical. Every time I'm around them and I go around to these spots, it's just like it can be cold out, and you'll be walking into these constant waves of heat, and it's just like pure love. It's like the love for them will actually like warm your body up in the cold weather of Canada. So like going down that spot, yeah, it was like more close to spring, but I'm down by the Fraser River, and it can get very cold when you're down by that river alone, right? And when you're down by any like fresh water, fresh body of water. We left the gifts, kept walking along, and each spot that we would like walk into along each embankment along the river, you would feel like this wave, like this heat. It's not like you're walking into a heat wave. It's like you're walking into this like a pocket of love, just pure heart, and you could feel it from them. Multiple times I would step, especially if I would step into like one of their tracks, like one of their prints. It would hit me like like just almost like a shock sometimes. Even the full out, obviously all tingly feeling, your hairs are standing up, that kind of thing too. But I gifted them. I always leave the gifts for them on like kind of dry rocks up along the riverside, and we gifted them, and within 20 minutes, we just walked all the way up the bank and then came back. We came back to the spot where I had just gifted them with Chris. Not too far from the spot where I exactly gifted them, there was this like a tree root. All right, I didn't think it was a tree root when I first looked at it, because it literally looked like an actual heart. It looked like a human heart. It was soaking wet. I mean, like soaking wet, and it was sitting on completely dry rocks, right by where we just walked through. Pretty much exactly where we gifted them. Him and I, we both looked at it when we walked up to it, and we had this look on our faces, like, what in the heck is this? Like, it looked like a heart. I was like, I felt almost the first reaction was, do I need to put a glove on to pick this up? The way it looked. Picked it up, and I just looked at it. He looked at it. We're just like, whoa. Like, You
Brian,
can't
what are
make
you
something
doing?
look more
You
like a
need
heart,
this
right? It
thing.
had like the ventricles, the arteries, everything all coming out the sides of it. It even pumps when you take it and you squeeze it, it pumps. So it actually pulsates. It moves in and out, and it just looked like I've showed it to numerous people now. And so one of the first reactions I get is they say that looks like a heart. Some people actually were thinking it's a real heart. Some people actually got a little creeped out by it when they looked at it because they thought it was like I was holding a human heart or something. I'm like, no, I'm not crazy. This is not. This is just a tree root, and all the little parts are broken off on that right side, and it literally looks like you can see the artery in the ventricle and all that coming out of the heart. You can, yeah, I don't know. I still have it, and it's just I can feel the warmth still coming from it.
What a message.
Yeah, and it
Wow.
just like feels like even you guys said it before. It's like they're just showing me how huge my heart is. They're showing me the love. The whole time, right when I got that, I honestly never really felt like that much love and heat and like just like I said, it's comparable to almost walking into like a heat wave in the middle of summer, and you just all of a sudden get this big wave of like warmth. It just overpowers you, and it's like that, and it can be hit me like that at any moment, and it's kind of a similar resemblance to that. And I got that like crazy when I got that heart.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, like pretty much like the best like gift I don't know. I don't like compare any of the gifts, but that gift really means a lot to me, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course. What an amazing gift.
Yeah.
So
It
do you
was
want to get sorry, go ahead.
no, you keep going.
Well, I'm just thinking, do you have anything, Beans, or should we get into when Mark came up and visited?
Kathy Blanc says, I had one tell me that by taking his handprint cast, I was taking part of him. Always wondered if the rest of them think this way or feel this way. Thanks for the information on that one. So when you take a picture, you take a part of them, and when you take a cast, you take a part of them. Any comments on that?
I've kind of like I said that earlier. I feel that I've been under the impression, anyways, that like that's why when I go in there and take pictures of them, I like tell them like I'm going to be taking pictures. If you guys want to come in for like the family photo or whatever, I'm going to say. I always try to show them that respect because I feel that some of them, yeah, like they don't, I don't know, kind of maybe in a way like look at our phones, it's like a witchcraft or something, or like magic, or like I've even heard like the magic box, or like taking pictures is like taking part of their soul or something like that. So yeah, I don't know, maybe, yeah, like I say at the same time they're all different. So I don't know what one's thinking and the other one's thinking. They're not all thinking the same thing. They might have their own, their beliefs and their way and the way they do things, but they're not all thinking the same, right? So like, it's kind of really hard to answer that one. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's some that are willing to step right out in that photo and smile for you, right? But then there's going to be some that are not, no, right? So that's my guess anyways, right? I ain't 100% sure, right? But
Any more questions, Bean?
Oh, they got some nice comments here. Let's see. Coastal Chick says, Arg, I've been waiting all week for this and my internet keeps freezing. Pat McRae's here. He says, they use the light to cloak. They bend it. And he says, that's from
yeah,
the horse's mouth. I mean, the Sasquatch told him that they use light to cloak.
yeah. It's all in the lighting, man. It's all in the lighting. It's in the lighting out in front of your eyes, and it's all about the lighting inside your body. It's all about that light inside of your
Pat
heart.
also talking. Pat also talking about the dark guys, the agencies that come and get the Sasquatch. He said they torture them and electrocute them and experiment on them and take the females and make exotic hybrids such as a reptile, Bigfoot. So some really dark stuff going on out there.
Mm-hmm. And there really is a lot of stuff that goes on underground to lot of people are just really have no idea what's going on. I'm dead serious too. There's a lot of stuff going on out there, and a lot of people are just, they don't got no clue. You know, and when they're gonna tell me that, like this, like Pat said, they take them underground, they hurt them, they do tests on them, they experiment on them, a lot of torture. Okay, these are families. These are families that are it's my family. This is your guys' family, and they do this to them. You know, this is really happening.
It's pretty dark
It
stuff.
really happens. It's a real thing.
People,
I don't care what anyone else has to tell me. I'm gonna believe an ancient person that does not lie. They're not gonna send me in the wrong direction, man. They're not gonna just, you know.
Yeah.
They have faith and they trust me. They believe me and they love me, and then they know that people are gonna listen to me. Right? I've always been a leader. I've always been a coach. I've always been a person who's gonna help that person get out from out of that gutter and lift their feet. Keep going up that ladder. If that step goes out, keep going up. You know, I like to keep people going up, man. Motivation.
Yeah.
Live your life and be happy, man. Ride the wave, you know? And I just feel like in some ways that, you know, especially you guys, we can help make a difference, you know? Really can.
Yeah, some people save the whales. We need to have it in our mind that it's worthwhile saving the Sasquatch, and it's because like they are under pressure. It's all wildlife is under pressure, but the Sasquatch and the whales, you know, these are major players on planet Earth, and they need to be protected and looked after and not killed, not put a bounty on their head. Oh, this United States is so backwards.
that's the humanity, you know, like humanity is like a, you know, like a goodness statement or a bad, like, you know, like some kind of special badge of honor or something. But, you know, they, if anybody, show the humanity that we aspire to in that statement that we don't really show, you know. We could learn about humanity, our idea of it, or our ideal of it, from them, because they follow those principles much more than we do.
Yeah,
I agree.
They're very
They
honorable.
love nature. They love God. They love humans. You know, they love their family. They love their children. You know, and they shouldn't be hunted. You know, start looking at them as people, and then as people, they got a lot to teach us about who we are.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's I just feel like, you know, like we keep doing what we're doing too, and you guys keep doing what you're doing. It's great because you're helping a lot of people too, right? It's not, you know, it has a lot to do with the spiritual side, but like even along what you guys did to me, I never thought like a year ago I was gonna be on a podcast or anything that had to do something like this. You know, I didn't even, no one would ever take it seriously. For one, I'd always find these groups that were like, you know, just like that BFRO and all this stuff, they make a big joke out of it. And it's not taken seriously. They keep doing the same thing, and it's, you know, I know, right? When I talked to Pat, I talked to people before I came on your guys' show the first time, they told me, Carl, they said it's safe here. It's a connected group. I was just like, I was excited, you know? Like I said, I've turned down multiple groups now. I've had 4 or 5 people now or more who want me to go on their show. I haven't gone on any of them. I refuse to. Won't do it.
But I can understand why, because if people are telling you that you have to temper what you're saying, and they don't want you going too far, and, you know, like I wouldn't be interested. I just say no thanks. I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
And there's people who don't want to come on our show too. There's people who are so deep into Sasquatch, they put their Sasquatch experience on such a level of purity and protection that they won't even come on our show to talk about it. So, you know, it's a whole spectrum out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we have
the Sasquatch are actually want to be known and want to be accepted and want to be taken as a serious part of this world, because they're reaching out to so many people, tens and tens of thousands of people. They're reaching out to them, and everybody's talking about them, and it's because they want it. They want it. If they didn't want it to be known, then they would just be hiding. You know, we wouldn't know about it. But they want to be known, and it's for the betterment of humanity and for them, where our destinies are tied together.
Well, our time with what we're doing to this planet is coming to an end. So and that's just a fact I've learned from them, right? The pollution and everything is just coming to an end soon. What we're doing to this world is going to affect all the worlds, especially in all these dimensions, all these worlds within worlds, and it's not going to be allowed. Right? It's not allowed, and there's going to be. It's what I'm told, right? So there's another reason why everyone's doing what we're doing right now, and like word's getting out, and we're trying to do what we're doing right now. It's the time. It's not. I'm dead serious, too. The time's coming. What everyone's doing to this world. You think we're going to keep getting away with putting all this crap in the ocean, in the rivers, in the forest, tearing all the forests down, digging all these tunnels and tearing all this whole planet apart? This is no. Well, Mother Nature is coming back, and this is a real thing.
Not only that, tearing connections of people apart, tearing connections of everything apart, trying to perpetuate myths of separation and whatever. All that's got to end.
The darkness is making everything corrupt. But you know, the Hopi Indians talk about that we are living now in the fourth root race, and we're getting ready to go into the fifth root race. Well, and the Sasquatch have said the same thing. That means they have seen human beings reach to a very high level of technology and organization, and then be wiped out. So this is like our fourth time, you know, that the Sasquatch have watched us get to the same kind of level we are now, and so we're on that place where we get wiped out again. We could get wiped out again, and there'd be nothing left. So, or there's going to be some major changes.
What have the Sasquatch told you, Mark, as far as you know? How about the people that they're connected with? People like yourself, myself, Mr. Beans, you know, so many of the people, well, just about everyone is listening to us. What's the plan for us? What's going to go down, and what's going to happen with us after it goes down? Is it what's going to happen? You know, from what they're telling you.
I know they've been saying a lot that, like, you know, they're trying really hard right now to get everyone to their heart space. Trying to get everyone to, like I said, find the energy of your heart. Right? You gotta like really find that divine energy of your heart, the true divine part of it. Because we all need to get that together as one, as a collective, and we can literally just like amazing thing.
Your heart light and stay in your heart light.
Yeah, and like that's one big thing they're trying to do right now is see if we can really do that, right? I know it's all for the good, and this is all going to be for the greater good, right? But I don't really like. I'm not really the person to say this is what's going to happen in the future. This is the way it's going to be, you know. But like they were telling me that like we can change all of this, and we can help heal Mother Nature. And all we need to do is get together as one, as a collective, with our true divine energy, meaning our heart, and heal this Mother Nature. Change as a collective for the better, for the love of our earth, for the love of each other. Right?
So you don't see it as some people see it, like some of us are going to go to one new earth or new reality or dimension or whatever, and some are staying behind in the old paradigm or whatever.
I've had just of that. I've had Carl give me visions of me and my family. You know, I've said this to David, said it to a few people. There was like a vision I had, like a night, a dream, but like a lot of red in the sky. It didn't look good out there, and Carl took his arm over me and my girls, my family, and he brought us to this place which looked like our, you know, it looked similar to like the trees and the beauty of British Columbia, but everything was like a purple color. It was, like everything that would look green had this like kind of like a lavenderish purple color, like this like glowy shiny color, and everything was different, but it wasn't like the trees here. It was just a bit different, right? Everything was a bit different, and I could tell that I was like, this is their place, this is their home, this is where they're from, you know. And I've always been told that like when, you know, if the dark comes and when the time comes, they're going to take my family and take care of my family. you know, and like Carl and all of them and his family. And I've had visions of it and I've seen it. So, you know, I don't know.
Was
I
there
don't,
You're
was there
not the only one. There's other people who've been there or been shown that from the Sasquatch. It's a place where they hang out. Wherever they hang out, when they have their meetings and they have their families and everything, it's another dimension or another something, another world. But
yeah.
other people have been shown that place.
now you said it was a visual, but there was also a feeling of great love. There was a feeling too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was just like, it's really hard. It's like really trippy sometimes. It's like how I look at my immediate family or my mom or my dad or like family of mine and like, you know, that love. It's like just exact same, you know. It's like I'm dealing with my own family and it's just like family from another time, or I don't know how to explain it, but it is like, you know, that's why I always just say they're my angels and they're like, you know, my guardian angels and they're always looking over me, right? But
Yeah.
you know, all I can say for the fact is I know the way we're going with this world right now, she's biting back real soon. And there's gonna be a lot of things coming with that. And like I said, with the lights changing and people seeing things differently now and they're not, you know, it's changing. And it will, I guarantee it, it's gonna happen. And I don't know the outcome. I don't know what's gonna happen, you know, but I know that a lot of us that we keep doing what we're doing and you focus on your heart and your energy, being that pure soul, finding that divine in your heart, man, just do it. Find it and things you have a good chance, right? We all do it together. So you say that, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Well, I mean, they're not, you know, we're not all being contacted for nothing. There's something dramatic coming and going on, and it's, you know, it's positive, even if it's going to be some growing pains, and it'll be positive in the long run.
I just had a fresh coffee brought right to me. It was very positive.
Oh, wow. Are you, is your fiance or are you married? I forgot.
She's my fiance.
Does she want to come on and say hello?
You want to say hello?
Give her the phone so the sound sounds good.
You want to say hi? Yeah, she just like puts her arm in front of her face.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, she's busy been watching the kids while I'm on the show, so I feel almost bad, but no, this is like my medicine, and it's nice to nice talking to you guys about this, right?
Wait a minute, kid. You got more than one?
Yeah, we have two kids. We have a 3-year-old. She turns 4 in June, and then we have our 6-month-old.
Oh, wow.
2 kids.
You got your hands full.
I have big hands.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So, before, you know, I want to get into, because we had there's a bunch of really neat stuff that we experienced when you came up here. But how would you describe your relationship with Carl now? Where does it stand right now? And do you look at him as a teacher or a guardian, or how do you?
Many things. A guardian, my brother, family. Not really so much teacher. He's just more of family. He's trying to point me in the right direction, right? And showing me my right from wrongs. And he knows that, like, you know, where a lot of us are getting pointed in the wrong direction, and some of us need help. A lot of it has to do with your real actual gut too, your instincts. People will call it their third eye or whatever it is. You listen to your stomach and listen to your gut, right? He shows me a lot of that too. You know, you listen to your inner self. Don't, you know, just don't take it into
You just said this was medicine, you know. That's like American Indian thing. Medicine is anything that is good, like good understandings of truth is a medicine. What you're doing is when you open up and talk to people on this podcast, on this show, that's medicine for a lot of people. You know, I already gave a couple of examples of people who've already been touched and their understandings awakened, and people are learning things. That's good medicine. You know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons why we do the show is we want to show people what happens. What's it look like when somebody is friends with Sasquatch? People really don't know. It's like it's not even in their realm of possibility that you could be friends with Sasquatch your whole life.
Yeah.
That's good medicine.
Yep.
Yeah, just like Mother Nature, getting out in the bush, man. Go get your medicine. Don't sit inside. That's why I love sitting on my patio. At least, I'm outside.
Well, I think any of us who have felt that love, like the love zap or what you felt and all of that stuff, we just want to share that with other people because we know that that's the answer. Once you felt
Yeah,
that, I knew that was the answer to everything. Nothing
yeah,
else, all the details, all the little details, nothing really mattered. It was just that. Everything was
hmm
complete in that knowing and that connection feeling and whatever.
yeah,
It was like, and it was, like I said, there's no fear, no judgment, just all love. Even your worst perceived enemy in our 3D, or whatever our we interpret it normally, there's no room for any rancor or hatred or anything against them.
no.
It's just all no judgment. And
Even the stuff that I know right now and the stuff I'm saying, I am not no like
hold on a second.
professional.
This is the important thing, though. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Mark, but this is the
Yeah,
important thing is because that's our true nature. And when we're little babies and we're brought into this world, and I know you're not doing this, obviously, but most of us, we teach our kids all these boxes of judgment, 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 and all our true nature is slowly being eroded as we're currently being educated. But we're being educated against our true nature, really.
hmm
So it's really it's the biggest crime against humanity, really, when I think about it. But we're doing it, not even thinking about it, really.
hmm just like caring so much what everyone else thinks about you. It's really a big deal. You know what I mean, though? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I hear what you're saying for sure.
But
It's been a magical ride lately for sure, though. We had like, I don't know if I told you what happened a little while ago. We were sitting on our patio, my girl and I, and we had a space heater on our patio, like right in front of me on this couch here I'm sitting on. And it gets pretty cold up here in Canada. It's kind of cold. This was like a month and a half ago. Within, I think it was about 3 or 4 or 5 feet to her left. See this like a flickering, like an orb come through the railings of our patio, and you could hear it at some points. It sounded like yeah, like an electric buzzing, like a zapping almost. And they kept shooting right in front of us. I actually noticed it originally the first time, and it was just very, very like fade. It didn't last very long. It comes back the second time, and it's just happening right in front of us as we're sitting on the patio. Starts shooting through the railings of the patio and coming right in front of us and flickering like a kind of like a we got those like light shows, and it's just kind of reflecting. It's like just kind of flickering, and then next thing you know, sparks started flying out of our heater. So we have a space heater on the patio to kind of keep us warm while we're sitting outside having some wine or whatever, and a couple of smokes, and it made the heater short out. So like multiple sparks were flying out of the back of the heater, like a fireworks show, man. And then we just like unplugged it and it just shorted the heater out, so it don't even work no more. That was kind of a trip to see, especially when you're seeing it with someone else and you're not just by yourself in the middle of nowhere, and we're both sitting there and just, they're like, yo, we're right here. Like, their energy made the space heater short out and it doesn't work and it stopped working. It kind of sucked. It wrecked our heater, but they were like coming and like kind of showing their like energy and their love. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was very, very powerful. It just made sparks, right? So that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, she was there. She saw it happen. So yeah, okay, that kind of stuff happening on, we haven't seen any orbs like that recently, but yeah, we got all kinds of mysterious stuff. Like that handprint, to find that big handprint like 3 times the size of my handprint left in the snow right by our patio. Or the footprints or the moving sticks and left a rock on our front step like, a couple weeks back. Just like odd. Actually gonna find out. I might have that in the pocket. Maybe I don't have it here.
I mean, you got huge feet. So your hands must be big. That handprint must be enormous.
Yeah, it was. It was like 3 times the size of my hand, and I'm a giant, right? So, it's always like kind of just like leave a little marker. They're just like, yo, we're still here. We're here constantly, right?
You have size 16 or 17 shoes?
Yeah, like size 15s or 16s, depends on the shoe. I remember you saying that when I was walking up the mountain. You were like, "Ooh, the size of those feet, man! What size are those feet?"
No, I'm sorry,
I
man,
can.
but I'm, well, I guess it's judgment, but it's judgment with humor. But I looked at your feet and I was thinking they look like those clown feet, like those big
Yeah,
clown.
they're long. Yeah, long feet.
Huge, man.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I
That's like
love
a
doing the
leopard, which
hiking.
are, like a fair sized foot, and like yours are like gigantic.
Yeah, I'm crawling out of that clown car.
Oh,
Yeah.
so my uncle was a clown at Ringling Brothers Circus, right?
Okay.
And when he died, all his friends went to his funeral in one car.
That's good.
He
That's
doesn't understand humor.
good.
See?
You have to explain it.
No, I didn't have to. No, that's what you have to do because your jokes aren't that.
You see, in the clowns is one of the clown things when they put all these little clowns in a little tiny car. And that's what the joke's about.
Yeah, but he got that.
I didn't.
Oh boy. So, well, do you want to? So when about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and this has been part for me, like my time with you, whatever, has been part of like the last couple of months have been crazy for myself. But when I came and picked you up, and we went camping a couple of weeks ago. How do you describe the feeling when we were? Because you were starting to feel something when we were driving there, and then especially when we just drove right into the entrance to the place, right? What happened?
Okay. I guess I muted myself by accident. All right, but yeah, I could feel like a lot of joy, honestly, like a lot of the time. I think a lot of it has to do with you and Susan getting married. Uh, I could feel a lot of celebration. I think it was joy too that you two were going to be like together from now on. I think they're really, really happy. There was a joy and excitement that all of us were getting together at that spot, but I could, throughout the whole time I was there, I could feel a lot of like a celebration. It was very similar in a way to like what I felt after we had our baby Eve. And I felt like that kind of joy, celebration, music, drums. They love the drums. They love the beat. I felt a lot of that, the whole way up as soon as you came out here and grabbed me. Because like, Brian and I, we don't live very far apart. He only lives like, just up, not very far away. So, but yeah, we got up there and it was just magical, man. It really was all the way up to even as soon as I got out of the truck and we got to that spot, that spot. I just right away they were getting my attention. It was that tap, 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 right?
Right, right. Well, let me back up there a little bit because if we're going to get to that point, I have to back the story up because something happened to me that was very much related to that. So about maybe a week prior to when you came up, or no more than a couple of weeks. I think it was like no more than a week. I'm walking around in my area and I'm seeing their structures and stuff. And like I've always said that. Well, I know they build their structures. There's no doubt about that. But sometimes it's a collaborative evidence. Sometimes people will make something. Sasquatch will come on and add something, or sometimes a Sasquatch will make something. A kid will come on and add to it, or like. So there were a bunch of colored rocks I was finding that were around all these different structures. They were turning up everywhere. And it's kind of interesting because, it's at one point there were like blue things, blue little structures, or not structures, sorry, blue little toys, or blue stuff was always showing up in the structures and stuff. And it was because somebody had mentioned it, and they mentioned it, got it in my mind, and then I went out and I started finding all that stuff. That's kind of how it works, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm seeing these colored painted rocks around these structures, and I'm thinking, well, I know you guys made the structures, or at least the majority of it. But I'm wondering about these colored rocks, and I said, but I know I'll get my answer soon. And I even have that on tape. I recorded it, so I've got it on a little video I put out just a couple of days ago. So I said, I know I'll get my answer soon. So on the day that we went and picked you up, or I went and picked you up, we get to this campsite and take it from there. You started hearing something or feeling something.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, no. As soon as we got out of the truck, I went and took my bag and a few things, and I went and sat by the picnic table there, in our camping stall, and I heard that tap, 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 and it was kind of like just saying like welcome, basically. That was the impression that I got, anyways. And then we sat there, and I did my thing, and we chatted for a bit, and then Laurel showed up, and we were like, okay, well, let's go for a walk. And we went and walked around a little bit, and then we were going to come back to Joe.
Wait a minute.
And when we came back,
you missed the whole thing. You missed the whole thing. The whole
no,
tree.
no, that's what I mean. That's what I was getting back at. It was a second knock. When we came back, that was when I went back to that picnic table, and I heard the tap tap again, right? So the first time was 3 taps, and the second time was 2 taps. And when I heard that second tap, it was like, come here. It was like, I'm right here. And there was a stump right there at the back of the stall by a tree, and there's a big tree root stump sticking out, and it was kind of like half hollowed out, right? But it was like, come here, and I could almost feel him, like he was right there. And walked up to that stump, turned around to the back side of it, and I seen like one rock kind of in to the right side, deep down inside the stump. And as I reached down to it, it's like as if almost like it's not even me doing it, but it was really odd. I picked up that stone, and it was like, nope, put that stone down. And then I looked over to this other stone on the opposite side of the stump, like wedged into it. And I picked it up, and I looked underneath it, and there was like all this, like someone had painted the bottom of the rock all orange. It was like a kind of like a bright orange color painted underneath. And then it was just like a confirmation after I picked up. It was like, this is the rock. I was just like, okay. And I just like pointed it towards Brian, and he was just like, whoa. Right. So I like
my answer, right? Didn't I tell you immediately? Yeah. That's my answer.
Yeah, you did. That's why you were like, whoa. You were like, all right, that says a lot. So like kind of like you're saying, yeah.
And there's another fine point here too, because they also picked the color orange, which is my favorite color. And they're very articulate. I remember one time when they were watching my wife and I picking berries. I almost said girlfriend, but she was at the time. And there were red ones and orange ones, and I liked the orange one, and she liked the red ones, and they left me an orange one because they pay attention to all the particulars and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But I also remember like when that was all going on, it felt like our heads were just exploding with energy, and I could feel like a heaviness in the air, like I could feel them right there, like there was a thickness or the air was heavy. But I did want to say one thing. When we went over to the stump, that's when we first pulled in. Laurel and them hadn't even come yet. That was when we had just pulled in.
I thought she had like went to the bathroom or something. Maybe I guess I could have had it a little wrong.
No, that's when we first. Well, yeah, I got everything right, other than it was when we first pulled in. Everything.
Yeah, yeah. Because then that was after when we saw the kid shortly after that, and that was when we saw that kid standing up at the side of the mountain there.
Well, then I wanted, so let me lead us into that. So I got my confirmation with that, which was amazing because, like I said, I had just said, I know I'm going to get an answer. And then you pulled that rock up. And like you said, you were being led, this is not the one. This is the one. The color was orange, which is my color. So, articulate with her details. But anyway, as all this is going on, and we're just feeling all this crazy, amazing energy, like it was just like, it was intense. Suddenly we both look over to our right, and partway up the slope, which is a really, really steep slope, yeah. 3/4 of the way up, you see a kid with about a 10-year-old kid or something, right? Looked like regular clothes with a big stick in his hand, knocking on a tree. And then as you look up and see him, he gives you that look and drops the stick, right? Gives you that deer in the headlights look.
Yeah, like a deer caught in the headlights, like he sees me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So give us your take, and then I want to make my observation on what he did.
Oh yeah, well, like just the way it was and the way it felt. It also looked like he was wearing clothes from like 1991. It was really kind of odd too. That's the way he looked. And then he turned. He was hitting the tree. He hit the tree like twice. But he looked at us and he was like, "Ooh." And then he threw the stick and then he ran sideways up the side of the mountain over like 15, 20 trees laid out along the side of the mountain. So he just like, I don't even understand. Brian and I went up there afterwards and looked at it. We were like, I was just like, how in the heck did that kid run over all that up the side of the mountain? What? Just it did not mathematically. It didn't make sense. I was just like, it was pretty trippy, like the way we felt it, and like we kind of both had experiences with like seeing them showing themselves in many forms and ways. But yeah, I don't know. We definitely had a long talk about that. And we were like, how definitely felt like it was them.
Well, I know they're capable. I
They
know.
ran away from the campsite, away from everyone else's, up the mountainside, like over all that stuff. That's just like I don't know. Like I said again, I have a hard time seeing any 8, 9, 10-year-old, 11-year-old running over that stuff.
I've got a picture of kind of like the slope, so I'll bring it up. I think, but this is mild compared to what we were experiencing. But it was kind of like this, right? Except, try to imagine it being like way mossier and soft, so you can't really run in that, and way bumpier, and like logs and stuff all crisscrossed. Basically, 10 times as cluttered and whatever as it is here, and bumpier and stuff. So try to imagine that. So we went up there and we saw exactly where we saw this individual, and like you said, from what we saw, I would say that the chance that it was a human being was zero. There's no way that person could have run off like that. It looked like it was Usain Bolt. Is that the guy's name?
Yeah.
The Olympic guy?
Yeah.
He was running that fast without climbing and jumping over stuff. It was just like in a straight line, impossible. And the behavior was Sasquatch, knocking on a tree. The energy, everything that was going on spoke of that's what it was. And literally, but the thing was, from just a scientific and from a person looking at it from a practical point of view, there is no practical way that a human could have run off like that.
In that spot in particular where he ran from, there was trees laid out all the way along on the ground. Like he would have had to jump and hop. Like the way he ran, there's no way, because like he didn't even really jump. He just ran full tilt straight across all of it like it was nothing.
Yeah, like I said, it looked like he was on a track.
I could do that, and I'm in physically good shape. I'm 6'6", 38 years old. I know. Right? So we knew. Right? I don't need to convince each other too much, right? But
I'll go one step further. I'll say that no human could do it.
Yeah.
You say nobody. No human.
No.
Impossible.
And he also ran away from everyone else. He ran away from the campsite, right? He looked at me like a deer caught in a headlight, like I just seen him and he shouldn't be seen. And then he just threw his stick and he full tilt ran across the mountainside, right down that slope. It was just, I actually saw a young one on the other side when me, like all four of us were walking around when we were over by that big open field where that little creek was on the other side over there. When we went walking on that side, I saw him in the shade and he had his teeth out and he was smiling at me.
Probably the same guy for sure.
It could have been the exact same one. And I felt almost the same energy the whole time too, right? And it was a lot of playful laughter and giggles and chuckles and just celebration, right?
Well, I mean, this is why this is once again, like, we're not afraid to say exactly what we think. So we don't censor anything. Like I'm telling everybody that's listening to this show, regardless of what you think, and I respect what you think of whatever, and I'm telling you that was a Sasquatch. There's no way that was a human being. It could not have been. And the other interesting thing that you mentioned that just struck me now was the clothes or whatever, because I remember seeing other people that I feel were Sasquatch too, and quite often they'll have like their clothes or something doesn't look right on them. They don't. Yeah. They're in with the times or whatever, whatever else, and that stands out too, because you notice that, it would look.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
only
I was.
caught it, I only caught it basically. I heard the knock and whatever, but I only caught it basically when I saw the kid running off. But yeah,
Yeah, it was definitely a trip too. Just it was very blatant. And I felt the same energy that I felt from him the whole time, even after that kid ran off. I could feel this the joy and the playful and a lot of like youth playfulness too. Like they're just playing around there. Um, I could feel all the family there, but I could feel a lot of youth. The young ones were just love having a good time around there. So, but
absolutely.
yeah,
And
and then go figure. I see that kid running like Usain Bolt, like that kid. The way he ran down that mountainside, that was definitely no, I can't stop thinking about it.
well, to me, it looked like he just ran right across in a straight line, like away from us.
Yeah,
But
down the mountain slope though. So he had like the way he ran, like the way you. I don't know. If people really understand what the mountains are like in British Columbia and like the terrain and what it's really like up here, it's not exactly easy to just run along the side of a mountain
well, I'm just
like
saying,
that with
it's really,
trees and rocks
really,
in the
really
road.
bumpy. There's logs and everything crisscross all across it, and the moss itself is so soft and whatever that you can't run in that kind of stuff. To be,
No,
even
you
if
end up rolling your ankle.
any person is going to be climbing over, like it, making some kind of. This guy just went shh, like like a meteor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyway, it was also interesting because we saw some ravens that were hanging around watching this quite a bit too. And you want to talk about them because
As soon as we walked up to them, I could feel them. We were being watched through their eyes.
right.
Hardcore. We could really feel them. What they were like right on us. There's two ravens just sitting by the picnic benches. We all three of us or the four of us came walking around the corner to that spot. It was pretty cool. They like been like sticking around and like watching through animals through their view. But I
Absolutely.
can feel their energy, right? It's not that I know, I can feel their energy. It's like when I go to the spots and I go to certain areas where I know they're around, or I know they're close to me, and I know when they like a lot of times too when I know they're close, I have to take that huge breath. I just feel like I feel like my energy in my heart, my frequency is getting so high. I have to keep taking these really deep breaths just to keep up with that moment of that vibration, like especially if they come close. And I got that big time when like we were walking by those ravens. So, like I had to like catch up to my beat of my heart because it was just like, you know.
Yeah. Well, I had an amazing. The ravens showed up earlier later in a really significant way. But maybe I should go over that story again and show you the pictures. But I have to go and grab them. Did you want to make a comment, Beans, while I go and look for them? Because this is kind of part of the same kind of thing.
Who am I?
Mr. Beans, Frank Oliver Beans.
Yeah, well, you want me to talk?
Well, yeah, I'm going to go look for some pictures because I want to.
You always cut me off when I talk.
No, I'm not going to cut you off.
Okay. This is a pivotal moment in our relationship. You letting me talk.
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's do it.
Oh, Mark.
Yes, my friend.
I went outside for a cigarette and I thought about arranged marriages. You know how they used to arrange marriages back in the day, especially in Africa. When a
Yeah, I knew
little
like pretty
baby
much.
girl, when a little baby girl was born, the old woman would get around and they would feel her energy and feel who she was going to be and all that kind of stuff. And then they saw who she was going to give birth to. And then, in order for her to give birth to this person that they felt was worthy of coming into the tribe, they would select her husband for her, right? So they might go to another tribe and they'd say, okay, this boy here, who's even only 1 year old, is going to be the wife of this new baby over in our tribe. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
see the plot?
Yeah.
Then when they grow up, they grow up knowing they're going to marry each other, and they also know what baby is going to be born. And the reason why I'm thinking about this is there's a good chance that the Sasquatch are like that. They know who's going to be born when, way into the future. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a good possibility that your friend, Carl, they knew that you were going to be born and they knew that he was going to be born, that you're going to be good friends. And this could have gone back a couple of generations to your parents and to your grandparents. And I was just
Hmm.
wondering if, your parents or your grandparents, if they were in the woods or if they were hunters or any of that kind of stuff. Like maybe so the Sasquatch could track your family because I know the ETs track family for several generations.
Well, I know for a fact that my mom's like, she doesn't full out like talk all about it, but like even like um, she's been basically like had known about them and had encounters with them since she was a kid. My dad has stuff he still hasn't really fully full out talked about, and I don't really want to talk about that stuff on here because it's just I don't really feel comfortable talking about that stuff about that. But it's they've just always been around. My mom full out. There's no doubt in her mind over it. Yeah, I just know that it's been in through my family, and my family's known about this for many way before I was around, right?
Yeah, and then possibly that would go back to your grandparents on both
Yeah,
sides too.
yeah,
So I think this is an important thing to at least put out there on the table that the Sasquatch, if they're going to be friends with you, they have their clan, their family structures. They have known about your family structure at least two or three or four generations back, and and so they know who's coming, and you could have been your grandfather's brother or something like that. You never know, something like that, where they know who you are before you're born. I think
hmm
that's just an interesting thing slant on things because there's a lot of people who are like you who have spent their whole life with Sasquatch or knowing of Sasquatch or being connected to Sasquatch, and it's not just a random event. I don't think. I
hmm
think it's more like an arranged marriage or arranged friendships.
yeah,
Because the Sasquatch have been doing this with the American Indian people for what 20,000 years or something. As the American Indians have been on this earth, they on American soil,
hmm
they've been friends with them, and they've interbred, intermingled, and been guides and teachers.
yeah. I look at them as like family. I felt like that since the beginning, right? Since the start. It's like I don't know. It's like when you have that moment where you're like really young and you go hang out with your cousin. It's your family, right? And you feel it. It was like almost just like that with Carl right off the bat when I first met him. It was just like this is my family, and I got that feeling from him right from the get go, right? That we're all family, and they've been watching over me or my family for a
That's
long
that's
time.
how I feel because with Sasquatch, it does not take long to go from friends to family. If you're part of them, and they see that, they feel it. So
Hmm.
you know, but that's once you get to the point of recognizing them and accepting them. But they will wait 30, 40 years sometimes for people to wake up to that understanding or be ready for that. You know,
Hmm.
but they know it's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah, it's an amazing love, man. I just love that feeling more and more and more every day. Just trying to focus on that heart, focus on your heart, focus on your energy more. It gets pretty magical, man. Especially when you're working with them and you deal with them and they're around all the time and you feel off their energy. You ride off their energy and you feel it. Like it's amazing, man. More and more and more. Just keep trying to do my own thing and get in Mother Nature and love it.
That's the thing. I've already mentioned this already that the people who are doing research, they're researching the wrong topic. Instead of researching the Sasquatch, what they really need to do is research the effects Sasquatch has on people. You know what I mean? Because we already have like this whole thing of PTSD, and I was terrified, and it ran across my car, and you know
Yeah.
those kind of things. And people get but they're obviously tagged because then here they are, 5 or 10 years later, and they're on the internet looking for Sasquatch stuff. They're tagged, they're involved, they're engaged, they're moving in that direction. and
Mhm.
they want to know more, and they want to find out more. They want to get out there, you know.
Yeah.
That's an effect it has on people. But then when you go over to the people who like you're talking about Pat McRae and Robin and hundreds of other people who have daily contact or feel like they're families and friends, their life changes in a way that is there's only a couple of categories of the way that is. One is the people who've had lifetime contact with ET, their life changes for the better. The people who've had near death experiences and they've gone up and talked to God and their angels and all that kind of stuff, and they come back and they're more righteous and they're more heart centered and they care about nature more, right?
Yeah.
So those two right there. And then the third one is the Sasquatch people. When you connect totally to the Sasquatch people, your life changes. You want to look out for your fellow man. You want to, you want to take care of Mother Nature better. And you care about what people are going through and how hard life is for them. And you have more compassion, more heart. You know what I mean? That's what needs to be studied. What is the effect that long-term friendship with the Sasquatch people, what does that effect have on the people who are friends and family with the Sasquatch? To me, that's the topic. All this other stuff is just like preliminary, like mixing the cake, it's preliminary, it's warm up. People need to know about footprints and stuff, I guess, and stick structures and what they sound like. But until you get to the point of like, what happens to people? And look, you in some way you've always had Sasquatch, so you don't have like this radical change from no Sasquatch to all of a sudden full on Sasquatch.
Yeah.
You started off with kind of full on Sasquatch, but you did it at a young age, and it wasn't unnatural or alarming to you.
No. It'd be the same way if I come across a black bear in the forest, man. I've come across many bear, lynx, bobcats, cougars. I don't like freak out. I keep calm and I just like don't. There's no panic. There's no, I'm getting at. The bear will even get down, sit on his bum. He's like, ugh, makes his little sounds, and he goes off this trail and he keeps going. It's just the same thing. It's all in, a lot of people and it's all in your fear, man. Like I said, it's all in your fear, right? Everyone has that fear in them. If you let your heart take it over, is that
They
bad fear?
they understand the language of energy, and so your fear is when they're going to attack you.
Yeah, that's why I say they test a lot of people too, and they do these things, right? They'll follow you out in the bush, or they'll toss stones, or they're do the grunts, or the scream, or whatever it is, or they're trying to get through that, right? They're trying to make the point. They're trying to get through that fear.
Yeah.
Just levels, right? They're just testing and they're just trying to see what the more you keep doing that same thing, you're going to get used to it. You're going to adapt. Things are going to change, right? So it's just a stepping process sometimes, right?
So do you see this picture? We'll get back to finishing this off. You see this?
Yep.
So it's
That was left just a while ago.
interesting that you said when I was telling you about these glyphs that you thought it was about Sue and I. Well, when I first saw this, and it was kind of I didn't. It's so obvious to me now looking at it, but I didn't process it right at the time because sometimes I just don't put a lot of thought into them. But and then sometimes they just jump out at me. But when I first saw this, I thought it was about our meeting because they were super excited, when you were there, and then obviously when Laurel came, where it got intensely ramped up.
Yeah, I
So I
left.
wasn't quite sure what it totally meant at the time, but I said I made a mental note. I'm going to go back and I'll figure it out. So I went back a couple of days later, and they had changed it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, yeah, and check these little feathers out too. There's something obviously to do with them. Like I think they represent people or whatever. But so
I
anyway,
have a big thing with leaving feathers.
what's that?
They love leaving feathers. I tell you, I don't know how many feathers they have left me. I mean, like, that's one thing it comes into play a lot even with me, and they leave me glyphs or they leave me like signs, gifts, feathers come into play a lot. I just bring that up right now because I see you got a couple of feathers in there.
No, no, I agree. So anyway, so this, when I seen this, it made me go back and look at the first one. Then I got what it really meant. When I first saw this, I thought that this is a friendship welcome X.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that this stick that they added into it was you, because they were so happy to see you. But then when I look back on the first clip, I realized it wasn't, and I'll show you why in a second. But anyway, I'll show you what's going on here. So here's the friendship welcome X. Here's the individual that they're welcoming into the family.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a raven that was in the bush that was right in that exact spot. Like, this is literally a map. This is like a map. This is a map, okay? So there was one of those two ravens that we were running into all weekend right here, and there was one right here. And this here is the road, the main road. This is, like I said, the bush.
Mm-hmm.
This is the road into the little corral place where we went. Here's like the little trail along where all the horse corral places are. And this is exactly where I saw that glyph, the first one.
Yeah.
So this is a map of exactly what they saw me doing. Like I said, raven, the raven I saw watching me.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically, they were showing me exactly what they saw me doing. So like when I came back to and was looking at this one, I actually was on the phone with you. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I do.
And I said, and I just got off the phone, and just as I was looking at that, I looked up, and the raven was looking right at me, like immediate, like I could tell, just like you. I said, I know he was looking right through me. He was watching me, acknowledging, and that I had seen this. So he was looking right at me. This guy,
Yeah.
right here, looking at me here. So then he flew off. And right as soon as he flew off over in this direction, this guy came in right behind him.
Yeah.
So the two ravens, right? So then I said, well, okay, I'm going to go back and figure out what it means. So then I'm looking at it again. And then I realized that, it's somehow how you miss so many of the obvious things. So like you said, it was about Susan, my, wedding and our union or whatever, because I mean, they put us together. They're ecstatic about it. And actually, Barbara Jean Lindsay said the same thing when she was on the show. So what this represents then is the A for the clan of RE, but this is Susan, my glyph. This is the fish glyph in here. So it's being added into the family, right?
Yeah.
And this extra extension is also an extra person, which obviously sometimes sticks, rocks, stuff like that, feathers indicate people. So this is indicating that an extra person has been added into the family, and this is Susan, my glyph. So it just was so obvious then. And then, like I told you what happened here. So then I'm going to work a couple days later, and I'm getting this pull to go back to the woods. It was a beautiful sunny day too, and they buggers, because they always do it when I'm working, right?
Yeah.
Strong pull to go in. I almost was gonna call in, but like I was on my way at work. It just wouldn't have been right. But but anyway, so I figured that this next thing I found, they probably did right then, or they were calling me to go there. And that was this. And see, here's another feather. And I look at this as like a path. And like we're along this path as a couple, along this path with them, just far along the path spiritually, many, many different ways. But it speaks of a path. And, and this feather, I guess, is, there's only one feather, so union, right? Is that you, Beans?
No.
Well, I wanted to blame you for something. Okay, so anyway,
what are those three little red dots? It looks like there's three little red dots to the left of the feather.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
We'll try to figure it out, because those things don't look natural.
I don't mind that going by my house.
Some of the little things you're right though. But anyway, so they wanted me to come back and see this, so then they did, and then so they changed it, and then they changed it one more time to this. The next time I went back, another couple of days later, and I see that this is two sticks, which indicates Sue and me, one path. So they changed it 4 times, and it was quite within a week.
You still got those 3 little red dots there.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I can't help you with the dots. But
I'm
anyway,
just
so
saying.
but those ravens, man. I mean, those ravens are amazing. And you just know when you see them. Like when you see them, you knew, right, Mark?
Oh yeah. No, I could feel them watching me, looking at me,
Yeah.
staring at me through them.
Anyway,
But I could feel it, right? The energy. So, like I said, a lot of times my energy it feels like an antenna that comes up through my back,
yeah,
and when I feel them around, it's kind of like a waves of sound or whatever, kind of like that, right? So when they come close, it's like waves of their energy kind of hits me, kind of like a sound wave.
yeah,
So when they're close, I can feel the frequency of their energy really high, and it was just like that exact moment when I looked at that raven, right? I could feel the laughter and the celebration throughout that whole moment. But they were just like super happy, and they're just like hard watching us. They had their eyes on us, like
yeah.
right. So
So you were saying when we were walking, when Laurel came to visit us, we all went for a walk for a few hours, and you were saying you saw an individual looking at you from the tree line, smiling or laughing or something.
yeah, it was like a youngster. He was in the shade underneath the tree when we went over to the other side there when we were walking around that open area where that field was and stuff there.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. So, and
He was over off the
the
end of the
open or
field
just
there.
standing just inside the cover a bit.
Yeah, and like I said, and that's where I felt too where a lot of that laughter and joy and happiness was coming from that little guy too. He was a young one. Pretty sure it was a boy, a young male, but he was definitely very young. Wasn't very big, but I just seen like the pearly teeth just smiling, and it was just like one of the biggest, happiest smiles I've ever seen in my life. Like just yeah. Then he kind of just stepped into the dark, and I was like just trying to actually catch up to you guys because you all three of you kind of got ahead of me a little bit there, and
Right.
I was just kind of staring off into the beauty. It's just so beautiful there. Right? Everything's it's just gorgeous there, man. You're just walking on like a carpet moss, and everything's just so beautiful. Like, yeah,
And you know what I found was really revealing? Like, their energy is so, you can read the energy so revealing. And I'm going to,
Mhm.
like when you and I were there together, like my head felt like it was going to explode. It was so crazy energy. And when Laurel came, it got like insanely, like it got really wild, right?
Mhm.
And when
Yeah,
Joe came, and Joe, listen to me out. I'm not, this just speaks of how they are and the truthfulness and the language of their energy. It got a little less, and I'm telling you, and it was not because they didn't like Joe. It was because they were a little cautious in checking him out. But it felt good. It felt good. But you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You know?
Well, they like I said, they always do it in steps. So like they do it differently with me, and they do it differently with most people. Right? It's not all the same, and like they can't just come, stomping around the tent. And the spot we were in, there was quite a few people in that like area too, right?
Didn't stop them though from connecting.
No, they just come close in their different ways. They have many ways of coming by, right, and coming close to you.
But anyway, yeah, we all have to go camping again or whatever with Joe and stuff.
But his heart space definitely in the right way. He admitted it himself, Joe. He said like I need to unlearn a lot of things. And he has his mind, the way he's thinking is really he's on the right track, right? So
No, it wasn't a negative comment at all. But it's just that they
yeah,
were a little cautious in checking him out. And it was a good feeling, but the energy went down a little bit because they weren't like, hey, wait a minute, let's see what he's all about.
yeah.
So
No, it was even really high too. Like even after Laurel left, I noticed it dropped down even just that much more. Because like the more we have like us, the more you're using your heart, the energy gets very strong, right? I'm really looking forward to in the future if all of us can really get together on a big campground somewhere and just, like
we're going to do that in May, right?
yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, getting a lot of energy all together and bundled up.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty good because in May, Laurel's going to come and her brother Gary, who's a great guy, is going to come. Let's get a connection going with Sasquatch. He's got a couple friends coming that are really in tuned and interested. So that's 4, and then The lady, Maureen Johnson, will be 5, and then Randy and his girlfriend are going to come for a day. So there'll be 6 or 7 or 8 of us there. It'll be fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Looking forward
Really
to
fun.
it.
Oh yeah, it's going to be amazing to be there. Like it's just going to be amazing, and that's they have like access to you, like it's kind of private right there too, right?
Yeah.
So they come right in and run right by your tent and do all kinds of shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they come by my house in almost the middle of daylight. You guys saw that video, and that's the middle of daylight. I got a road right by my house, and people, it's a somewhat used road, right? So just because there's people around, it doesn't mean they're not going to come around. They definitely will come around, right? It depends on the person, and if you're ready for
They're
it, right?
everywhere.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's getting kind of long in the tooth here. It's almost 3 hours. But I wanted to say something, something that you said, which really struck me. You talk about raising up the energy of your heart, the energy of your body, and you talk about just laughing and playing and just feeling joy. I just wanted to emphasize that because to me, that's what it is. Like acting like a kid and having fun and just raising up your energy and get those oh wow or oh boy let's go
Yeah.
that's really people need that people I needed to hear it there was so I'm sure other people need to hear it too that people say raise your energy. Well, how do you do it? That's a good thing. Brian bangs on his drum when he has too much energy, or I mean to raise his energy.
There's a movie you watched when you were a kid and a scene and it hits your heart and gets you all fuzzy and tingly, or a song or something. There's always something that you can use to give you that tingly sensation, that vibration where you just, you know what I mean? That thing where everything's standing up, and you can get that from even just simply watching something that hits your memory, right? And that's what I've been using a lot for over the years. When they showed me this, right, a song, even if someone has to have that song that just hits your heart, and you gotta start getting all tingly, and your vibration just starts going through the roof.
Oh, I have a song. It goes like this. I am so beautiful to me. Can't you see? I'm everything I ask for. I'm everything I need. I am so beautiful to me.
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 Well,
Make
even
it
the
a
world says
little
that
rascal.
you're beautiful to a lot of people. You're eye candy.
I know. I'm the sex symbol.
Eye candy, yeah. Eye candy, yeah. And not any candy. Like this is like the high class, like like Valentine's Day, expensive stuff.
That's my birthday, Valentine's Day.
It is.
Yeah, my
Oh, well,
Valentine's baby.
that's why you're so full of love.
Yeah, I'm a Valentine's baby. Yeah.
Well, did you want to say anything before we wrap it up? I'm going to bring your guy back to show him again for people. The picture of his face.
Oh, you remember the picture of Carl?
Yeah, we'll bring Carl back. Did you want to say anything?
Everyone, just keep focusing on your energy, focusing on your heart. Get that frequency up, get that vibration up. Focus on love. Don't focus on all that, whatever's out there in this world, all the negative. Focus on your heart and focus on your family and focus on the good in life.
Yeah.
And if you want interaction, you keep doing that. They'll come around. They'll be part of your family too.
And look
Just have
at
to open up.
Oh, so go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Take a look at that beautiful man right there. That's my best friend. Same one I've been saying since the beginning. I've known him all my life, and I get all this information that I learned. Most of it, I get it from them. Get it from him, right? So he tells me. He's pointing me in the direction to go, and we all need to focus on our frequency, the frequency of your energy, and get it up really high. Start helping people. Go help that guy you would never go help before in your life. Go do something you would never normally do. That nice thing. Go help someone. Go do something good for someone. Go get your frequency up. Go play some music. Go play that song or go play that whatever you're gonna play that's gonna get your energy up. That's what I can really say, Just everyone get their heart out there and just keep it pumping and keep loving everyone. That person is even an asshole who doesn't, people like leave that guy alone. Go give him some love.
Yeah. When you're
in
in that vibration, there's no problems.
Yeah.
There's no problem whatsoever. And what strikes me is look at that wise, loving face, and to think that people call themselves, say, the humanity or humanity or whatever, and they're hunting these beautiful
Mhm.
people. You're fooling yourself, people, if you're calling saying that. There's no humanity in that. That's it's just sad that we can't see that these people that were trying to exterminate or whatever we're trying to do with them, and all they're trying to do is help us to wake us up to who we really are.
Yeah.
The love that they show us, and that's no way to repay that. So we got to grow up, start respecting things other than ourselves, and quit putting ourselves on a pedestal and separate it from everything else. That's part of the
Mhm.
problem.
Yeah.
We're it's like us and everything else. Well, that's not true. It's everything, and we're part of everything. So get out of that mindset. Okay, that was a really great show. Anything you want to close out with, Mr. Beans, or?
No, I'm very pleased, because like I said, we people need to know. I need to know. Everybody needs to know what happens to the people who are friends with Sasquatch. That's the message, And so far, from the people that we kind of had on, it's been good. It's been nothing but good,
Yeah.
you know.
Everybody's got the real connection. Seems to have the same message. They just express it in their own interpretation, their own words, but it's all coming.
I'm going to
all
court
the
next
same
week. I have been
message.
selected for jury duty.
So
And
that's
anybody who is friends with Sasquatch or
It's
has
kind
a
of an
long-term
insane
relationship with
case.
Sasquatch, please
6,000 ants
feel to
dressed
get
up
on
as
the
rice and
Pork and
robbed a
Bean
Chinese
Show on
restaurant.
Facebook. It's a group.
Yep.
And get in touch with us because we want to hear your story about what happens to your life when
I don't think they did it.
you actually friends with the folks, or the ET people too.
I know a few of
We're
them. They
begging
wouldn't
because
do
we don't have
anything
any
like that.
guests. Basically,
Yeah,
that's a
I got a buddy around here, a local friend from around here. I'll talk to him and see if he'd be interested. He has a lot of stuff going on around his house. Orbs all the time, regular. I actually had him just join the group, the group recently. But I think it would really enlighten him to come on here and talk. He probably would learn a lot, even just from all you guys and in the comments. It might help him. So I'll try and talk to him
with
over
them,
the
yeah.
next few days.
And I mean, we'll get somebody on for sure. But I mean, we might just have a roundtable show too. I haven't really tried to get
we
anybody.
might do another roundtable. I think if we do a roundtable and the topic was how has your life changed by being friends with Sasquatch, and to see how many people show up because
Yeah.
you know
Okay, well, why don't we do that, and we'll put out an announcement, and we'll try to get everybody to come in, and we'll get like, who knows, 10, 15 people in there, and like we had with the Christmas show and the camp out show and that kind of thing.
well, that's a possibility. But anyway, if anybody wants to
Mhm.
spill the beans, you want to
Mhm.
spill the beans.
Right. Anyway, guys, that was a great show. Really, Mark, we're gonna have to go camping again pretty soon. Maybe as soon as next weekend or something. Who knows? Pretty soon, anyway.
Mhm. That's crazy. We just talked for 3 hours. It did not feel like 3 hours. Felt like an hour, maybe. It's crazy.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So on behalf of Brooke Cunningham and Frank Baines, the world's handsomest man, this has been the Pork and Beans Show, and we'd like to thank Mark Roberts. Thanks for coming on,
And family,
and family,
and
and
Carl, and all the Sasquatch people. That's another thing we forgot to say is every time we have this show, the Sasquatch people end up showing up in other people's lives, and they watch the show through other people's eyes. I think that's phenomenal.
well, I could feel Carl.
So everybody out there is watching the show. Pay attention, and the Sasquatch might just be giving you a little sign or a signal or a glyph that they like you watching the show.
I could feel Carl's energy. We're talking.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's been around the whole time.
yeah.
For sure.
And you felt. Here we go again. Guess we'll start part two.
Yeah.
But you felt RE's energy really. Well, actually, you felt
Oh, yeah.
but you also felt RE too, right?
Yeah. The love too, right? The love. And they like know and they get excited too. And I acknowledge too, right? They were very, very happy that I was acknowledging them.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people going in and out of those areas, not too many people really, so they get excited when someone comes in. They're like, just straight away, I'm sending them love and energy and just,
Yeah. It's
my
on
heart, get it back in return, right? So you keep sending them that love, you're going to get something in return. So
There you go.
yeah.
Find your heart, get in your heart, and stay in your heart. That's my last message.
Ever?
Well, if you, it all depends on whether you get it or not. If you don't get it, I'll have to keep telling you.
Hey guys, thanks everybody for coming. Thanks to all the Bean crew out there for listening in, and thanks for everybody. Love you all.
Have a good weekend.
Stay in your heart. Yeah, thanks.
Big sky, look down on all the people looking up at the big sky. Everybody's pushing one another around. The big sky feels sad when you see the children scream and cry. But the big sky too big to let it get him down. Big sky too big to cry. Big sky too high to see. People like you and me. One day we'll be free. We won't care, just you see. Till that day can be, don't let it get you down. When I feel that the world's too much for me, I think of the big sky, and nothing matters much to me. Big sky, look down on all the people who think they got problems. They get depressed and they hold their heads in their hands and they cry. People lift up their hands and they look up to the big sky. But the big sky is too big to sympathize. Big sky's too occupied. Though he would like to try, and he feels bad inside. Big sky's too big to cry. We'll be free. We won't care. Just you wait and see. Till that day can be, don't let it get you
I used to work for the factory where they make hydrants, but you couldn't park anywhere near the place.